The following is a National Labor Day message by the Honorable Keith R. Bell, Minister of Labor and Immigration.
My fellow Bahamians, good evening. It gives me great pleasure to greet you on the eve of the 2023 Sir Randall Fawkes Labor Day holiday, a time when we all pause to remember and honor the enormous contributions made by the workers, past generations, and the trade union movement of the Bahamas in the development and advancement of this great nation we call the Bahamas. This year's theme, Workers Celebrating 50 Years, United in Love, is most timely and appropriate, as in just 38 days, we as a nation will commemorate our 50th anniversary of independence. For this, we thank our Almighty God for His guidance and protection throughout the years. For it was by His grace and mercy that the hopes and dreams of a founding generation of Bahamians for empowerment and social justice were realized through historic milestones such as the General Strike of 1958, the fight for the right of women to vote, which was achieved in 1962, the accomplishment of majority rule in 1967, and the triumph of our independence in 1973. Indeed, we have come a long way. So this week, we remember our country's national heroes and freedom fighters, like Sir Randall Fawkes, often referred to as the father of labor, in honor of whom we have named this important day. I wish to express my condolences to the family of Mr. Ronnie Ambrister as we celebrate his life. As the president of the Bahamas Musicians and Entertainers Union and an executive officer of the National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas, Ronnie Ambrister played a critical role in the fight for workers in general and for musicians and entertainers in particular. We also pay tribute to our founding fathers and mothers, like Sir Lyndon Pinling, Sir Milo Butler, Clarence A. Bain, Dame Doris Johnson, and the remarkable women of the suffrage movement, Arthur Dion Hanna, Leroy Duke Hanna, Bobby Glinton, Keith Archer, Pat Bain, and so many others who, united in love for the Bahamas, bravely championed the cause of workers and paved the way, making it possible for us to enjoy many of the freedoms that we do today. They have left a rich and lasting legacy which will continue to live on in the lives of current and future generations of Bahamians. As Minister of Labor and Immigration, I wish to assure you that this Davis-led administration remains fully committed to improving the standard of living and quality of life for all workers in the Bahamas. That is why, within less than 2 years of coming into office, the government increased the minimum wage from $210 to $260 per week. And we are not done yet. We are aggressively taking steps to introduce a livable wage in the Bahamas in order to keep pace with global inflation and the rising cost of living. My fellow Bahamians, before coming into office, the government signed a memorandum of understanding with the trade union leaders to seek to improve the industrial climate in our country, which was then at an all-time low. Since being elected in office, this Davis-led administration set out on a mission to amicably resolve all labor disputes with various trade unions. Today, I am pleased to report that we enjoy cordial relations with all the trade unions throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, including members of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union of Congress, the National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas, and the most newly formed Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress, as well as with the representatives of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce Employers Confederation. We have made it a priority to meet with them on a quarterly basis and to engage in dialogue with these various bodies to address their concerns. To date, the government has successfully signed industrial agreements with a number of leading trade union bodies, including the Bahamas Nurses Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Bahamas Public Services Union, Bahamas Customs, Immigration, and Allied Workers Union, along with many others. My fellow Bahamians, I wish to assure you that the Bahamas government will continue to do all in its power to create employment opportunities and jobs for Bahamians by working with public and private sector employers and the Department of Labor through its Labor on the Blocks 2.0 job fairs, which match unemployed persons in our communities with employers. Since launching Labor on the Blocks, we have successfully held job fairs in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma. In the coming months, we plan to expand this important service to other family islands and communities. We also continue to seek to attract new local and international investors. Likewise, we will continue to prepare our nation's youths for job opportunities through our recently introduced Labor on the Campus initiative, which prepares 11th and 12th grade students for the labor market. Understanding the importance of training to the success of these employment initiatives, we will also continue to facilitate the training and development of our nation's youth through certification with the National Training Agency and other locally based institutions like the Lowell J. Mortimer Maritime Academy and the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute, along with others. We know that our people are our number one resource, and we are confident that the number, skilled, and well-trained labor force will produce productive workers capable of moving the country forward. My fellow Bahamians, the Bahamas government continues to partner with the international labor bodies such as the International Labor Organization to improve the standards and working environment of workers in this country. In November last year, the Bahamas ratified two very important ILO conventions: the Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Disabled Persons Convention of 1983, which promotes decent work opportunities for persons with disabilities, and the Violence and Harassment Convention of 2019, which recognizes that everyone's right to be free from violence and harassment in the workplace. In the upcoming months, the National Tripartite Council is expected to submit recommendations to the government for the ratification of ILO Convention 155 and 187 regarding occupational safety and health. Later this month, I will join officials from my ministry, the Ministry of Labor and Immigration, along with other key stakeholders representing both employers and workers in attending the 111th session of the International Labor Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, where we will further tackle a myriad of labor and matters affecting workers in the Bahamas and indeed the world. I am pleased also to inform that the National Tripartite Council continues to make steady progress on the reform of the Industrial Code Bill 2023 and the National Apprenticeship Bill. As we celebrate 50 years of independence, I assure you that this government firmly believes that workers are essential to our continued success as a nation and, as such, is seriously committed to empowering workers. This Progressive Liberal Party government believes that every worker is entitled to decent work, employment, equal rights, and opportunities, and we will continue to do all in our power to advance workers' rights in this country. I wish to publicly thank every worker, present and past, for your contributions to the growth and development of the Bahamas. This evening, I salute our policemen, Defense Force officers, immigration officers, correctional officers, educators, nurses, doctors, bankers, technicians, garbage collectors, street cleaners, security guards, attorneys, accountants, bus and taxi drivers, gas and pump attendants, farmers, fishermen, construction workers, airport workers, artists, craftsmen, journalists, maids, entrepreneurs, public servants, and all workers across the length and breadth of this beautiful Bahamas. You are indeed treasured, and we appreciate your service to this great country. We know that while the economy is rebounding and things have gotten better since the height of COVID-19 pandemic, there are still many who struggle to make ends meet, despite working every day. This Davis-led administration is particularly focused on making efforts to lift our people out of poverty. So I call on you not to lose hope and to continue to persevere. We must unite in purpose and in love, as did those before us, to lift up our brothers and sisters who may be in need, knowing that in the end, we will emerge victorious. As Minister of Labor and Immigration, I wish to use this opportunity to commend Mr. Obie Ferguson and the executives of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress and Mr. Dwayne Woods and the executives of the National Congress of Trade Unions Bahamas on the occasion of this joint Labor Day celebration. Finally, I wish to invite and encourage all workers, those that are unionized and not unionized, to join me and the members of the labor movement tomorrow morning as we march through the streets of our capital. We march to celebrate your contributions and those of our parents, our grandparents, and great-grandparents over the last 50 years. We march also in recognition of the important role of workers in the continued progress of the Bahamas over the next 50 years and beyond. To all, I pray that you and your families will enjoy a wonderful and safe Labor Day holiday. May God continue to bless the people and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as we carry on the charge to move our country forward, upward, onward, together. I thank you.
The proceeding was a National Labor Day message by the Honorable Keith R. Bell, Minister of Labor and Immigration.